One of the central themes of today is that we're here to help, be it compensating motor accident victims or supporting our members on the pressing topics of the day, such as Brexit or changes in the motor claims environment. During the course of the morning, we'll be sharing a number of animations on that subject, beginning with the story of the Kellys.
One afternoon, the Kelly family was driving to the shops. On their way, an uninsured driver crashed into them. They had to be taken to hospital. Michael suffered injuries to his back, neck and arm. Claire had a concussion and cuts to her head and face, while Aoife's leg was also broken. Between the vehicle damages and the cost of their treatment, the bill came to €60,000. As the other driver was uninsured, these costs could have fallen on the Kellys. But that's where the MIBI came in. Every year, the MIBI assists thousands of people in Ireland with problems like these. They have paid out claims to the total value of more than €2 billion. They are a not-for-profit organisation set up to help the victims of uninsured or untraced accidents. The MIBI helps. It's what we do.
When I was reflecting on what I wanted to share with you at this conference, and that we wouldn't have all met together in person for almost 3 years due to COVID, it gave me pause to think about the MIBI and the great work we've been doing since we were established in 1955. Building on the theme of the MIBI are here to help, as you've just seen and may have been surprised to learn, in that time we've made over €2 billion in claims payments to compensate the victims of uninsured and untraced accidents. We start to see a step change in claims payments in 2000 and 2001, where we began to see dramatic increases in the payments required to over €50 million per year, and we continue to pay out as much as 60 to 70 million per annum today. Providing this level of support to victims, who without us would be left without compensation, is something we can be extremely proud of, and something we could not do without our extended MIBI family of accident investigators, handling officers, legal providers, and recovery agents that are all here today. I'd also like to acknowledge the excellent work done by the MIBI team in our IFSC headquarters, tackling head-on all the challenges that arose from COVID, quickly finding new ways of working. So a big well done, everyone. I won't spend too long talking about our current numbers, but I'll briefly highlight a few recent trends and balances. I'm sure you won't be surprised to note that our claims notifications have fallen dramatically due to COVID, with less traffic on the roads, and the resultant impacts on the medical and legal professions. The top line in our graph here represents 2019 notifications, and you can clearly see the drop from April 2020 as the impact of the various COVID-related lockdowns and travel restrictions began to take effect. That accelerated in 2021, the lowest line here behind me, peaking at a 40% reduction against our 2019 pre-COVID baseline. You'll observe the shorter green line with our year-to-date figures is illustrating how claims notifications have started to pick up again in 2022 as traffic and related economic activity has normalised. I've addressed claims notifications on the preceding slide, which are 13% ahead of this time last year. Not surprisingly, the multi-year downward trend has flowed through to claims settlements and our open claims portfolio. You'll note year-to-date settlements are 11% lower year on year. This is 31% lower when compared to the same period in our pre-COVID baseline of 2019. I'm very happy to note that our open portfolio of unsettled claims is at historically very low levels, as our in-house claims team and handling office partners have taken advantage of the lull in reported claims. They've reduced 9% year on year and by 24% compared to 2019. Turning now to our responsibilities for administering the Motor Insurers Insolvency Compensation Fund for our members and the state. As you'll likely be aware, the MIICF fund will be required to contribute towards the cost of any future motor insurance insolvencies in Ireland. The central bank are entitled to seek reimbursement for 35% of the cost of insolvent insurers' motor claims that are paid by the Insurance Compensation Fund. As you'll note on the slide, the fund is growing nicely, with just under 115 million euros under management today. Fortunately, we've had no new insolvencies since the fund was established in December of 2018. The contribution rate is subject to an annual review by the Minister for Finance no later than the 31st of October each year, and it may be varied between 0 and 3% of annual gross written motor premium, depending on factors such as the amount held in the fund and the likelihood of a call on the fund. This contribution rate is currently set at 2%, and if there's more than 150 million in the fund, the contribution rate will fall to 1%. If the fund continues to grow at the present rate, would expect the Minister to be able to reduce the rate in 2024, which of course would reduce the amounts due from members in respect of 2024 premiums, which would be payable to the MIBI in June of 2025. We are operating in very challenging investment markets due to the war in Ukraine and related inflationary pressures. However, we have a conservative investment strategy focused on capital preservation, and the fund is performing very well against external benchmarks in these turbulent times. With the rise in interest rates improving yields on sovereign bonds, we have been able to improve the quality of our portfolio in recent months without materially impacting on our expected returns. As noted in the charts behind me, the amount of fund assets invested in high-quality Euro government bonds has increased from 8 million to 42 million, I beg your pardon, a very welcome development. Once we had addressed the immediate issues and impact of maintaining customer service and keeping our staff, claimants and other stakeholders safe, and learned to live with COVID and adapted our processes accordingly, we took the time to work on our strategy. We began by clearly setting out that our vision at the MIBI is to protect the interests of the victims of uninsured drivers. From our vision, we developed our mission, which has 5 strategic pillars: to fairly and promptly compensate victims of uninsured and untraced driving, our raison d'etre; to reduce uninsured driving; to develop our people, that's key to delivering on our vision; to provide guidance and expertise to members and stakeholders, and that's all underpinned by our commitment to deliver excellent customer service. As part of our 2021 to 2023 strategy, we developed 72 initiatives across our 5 strategic pillars. We have delivered on 30 initiatives to date, with a further 31 on track for completion by the end of this year. And looking to the future, we have another 11 initiatives planned for our 2023 delivery. And I'll share a few highlights in a moment. Our strategic plan included a refresh of our website with enhancements to improve user experience for our customers and stakeholders. This went live earlier this year. As you can see, we have a cleaner and clearer menu now with good flow, easier navigation and call to action buttons. We also included a membership area with a list of members, info and missive, our motor insurance database, frequently asked questions, useful links, as well as MIBI news and updates. And I do encourage you to take a look at the new MIBI.ie website when you're back at your desk. Phase 2 of our website project, our online claims form, has been formally launched here today. It is designed to be intuitive and user-friendly while still gathering all the information required. In addition to delivering good practice, web form functionality such as error code and data validation logic, it has been developed to remove repetitive data input. To further enhance the user experience, the form will allow all claims-related and relevant supporting documentation to be uploaded, greatly reducing follow-up correspondence, which is a win for both ourselves and our stakeholders and our customers. There's been a lot of momentum in the MTPL insurance database space over the past 3 years, and we're very excited about this game changer, which should, with the support of the Gardaí, and great to see them here today, have a significant impact on reducing the scourge of uninsured driving. However, at high level, it's worth noting that the database that encompasses motor third-party liability and the National Fleets Database is being launched here today as the Irish Motor Insurance Database, IMID, which more accurately reflects its scope and purpose, and simply, it does what it says on the tin. My colleague Tom O'Brien will bring us more on this important initiative later. Under our second strategic pillar, which is to reduce uninsured driving, we ran a very successful Tightening the Net digital campaign last year. It was powerful for us to witness this campaign gain traction. We commissioned and distributed a number of online videos highlighting the work of the Gardaí in detecting and arresting uninsured drivers, as well as the financial repercussions for being responsible for an uninsured driving claim. My colleague Dermot Cogan will talk more about the latter later in the day. The overall campaign on social media generated an extraordinary total number of impressions of 5.9 million, reaching 1.5 million users. We had more than 2.2 million views of our videos, with over 1 million views for our Don't Be Like Paul video alone. With the assistance of Cogency, our PR consultants, we regularly place stories in the media highlighting the work of the MIBI, notable successes, and also areas that need attention, such as discouraging drivers from driving uninsured. There'll be a theme. Our handling offices represented here today will be aware in March of 2021, phase 1 of the enhancements of our reimbursements process went live. In consultation with the handling offices, we agreed that only a very limited number of backup documents would now be required to support reimbursements requests. In essence, this means that the MIBI now rely on robust internal controls within the handling offices and accident investigators, and we supplement this with an additional monthly random audit process. And I'm happy to report that this process is now fully embedded and working very well. Furthermore, this project has contributed to a 93% reduction in paper use in the MIBI, saving more than 85,000 pages or 9 trees per annum in each of the last 2 years. Looking ahead to phase 2, this is close completion, and we expect that this phase will go live by the end of this year. That will bring further enhancements, improved managed information, and will eliminate the use of the accounts email, and all supporting documents will now be uploaded directly onto Presto, our claims management system. We'll now have a single repository, once again, saving time and paper. All in all, we will have a much improved reimbursement service for our handling office and accident investigator partners. Coming down the line, we have our customer relationship management project. Another of our strategic initiatives was to introduce a CRM system. This aligns strongly with our strategy to place the customer experience at the heart of everything we do. As a key enabler for a member-centric organisation, the CRM will be a central repository for member and stakeholder information. It will ensure robust communication in relation to membership, levies, changes to missive, IMID, events, and then topical issues of import to our members. Microsoft Dynamics was identified as the appropriate solution for the MIBI, and our CRM solution is being implemented in collaboration with our IT development partner TechEnable, and we expect it to go live in December of this year. An important pillar of our strategy is our people. Promoting diversity and inclusion has been a key focus of the MIBI's internal strategy over the past few years. And just a few weeks ago, we were delighted to be accredited with the Investors in Diversity Silver Award from the Irish Centre for Diversity. This is Ireland's premier diversity and inclusion accreditation mark and is supported by IBEC. Following accreditation with bronze in 2021, this is further recognition of the MIBI's efforts to create a collaborative environment that embraces equality, inclusion, and diversity for all. We're very proud of this award, and credit goes to the D&I committee, who've driven and coordinated all our activity, and to the wider MIBI team, who help us live this every day. An important part of the MIBI's mandate is our role in protecting the victims of accidents with a cross-border dimension. We deliver on this in our capacity as Information Centre, EU Compensation Body, and Green Card Bureau for Ireland. And I'll now share an example of how we help Jake.
Jake had always wanted to try out a motorbike, so he decided to give it a go during a holiday in Spain. But he was in a bad accident when he was hit by an uninsured Spanish car. Jake was severely injured. His leg was broken in 3 places and he also needed skin grafts. He was laid up for several months and had to get physio treatment as he began to recover. The cost of his treatment and the damages came to over €200,000. Jake contacted the MIBI about his claim and they were able to handle it. They are a not-for-profit organisation set up to help the victims of uninsured or untraced accidents, at home and in other EU countries. They spoke to the Spanish authorities, saving Jake from having to learn Spanish, and then covered the costs, letting Jake concentrate on getting better. Every year, the MIBI assists thousands of people in Ireland with problems like these. They have paid out claims to the total value of more than €2 billion. The MIBI helps. It's what we do.
A powerful case study, I hope you'll agree. The area of cross-border insurance has been a lively one for the MIBI and our members since we last met. We've had some successes and are facing some new challenges. Naturally, Brexit created some problems for Irish motorists in particular, as we share a land border with Northern Ireland. Therefore, the MIBI and our members always felt it was critical to try and minimise any motor travel friction. After leaving the EU, drivers of UK registered vehicles, including those from Northern Ireland, were facing the prospect of having to carry a green card when visiting another EU country, including the Republic of Ireland. A green card, of course, is an internationally recognised document which demonstrates to law enforcement agencies that valid motor insurance is in place. This system is overseen by the UN and the COB in Brussels. That's the new name for the Council of Bureau, of which the MIBI are members. Asking Northern Irish motorists to carry additional documentation to enter the Republic of Ireland did not go down well. It had the potential to become a real flashpoint, especially with escalating EU-UK tensions in respect of the Northern Ireland Protocol. Fortunately, a solution was available via having the UK sign a multilateral agreement with all the European Union compensation bodies, such as the MIBI, and persuading the European Commission to utilise the provisions of Article 8.2 of the EU Motor Insurance Directive. This article can be used to permit a third country into the green card free zone. After a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and including government support, which was much appreciated over several years, this was achieved in August of last year for our friends in the UK. It was a big win for motorists, their insurers, and the MIBI. Whilst we can reflect on a job well done in navigating Brexit, new problems with the system have emerged. The illegal invasion of Ukraine by Russia caused shockwaves across Europe, not least in the cross-border insurance system, as Ukraine, Russia and Belarus are all members of the green card system. The COB have been working extremely hard to mitigate the financial, compliance and reputational impacts that have arisen. Ireland are actively assisting the COB on this topic, as I chair the monitoring committee of the COB that oversees the financial stability of the green card system, including the impact of the EU sanctions. At the time of the invasion, the COB had a Russian vice president, and he quickly stepped down, mindful of the optics and need to protect the reputation of the system. Furthermore, Ireland and the other member states of the COB from the European Economic Area have cancelled the multilateral agreement with Russia and Belarus and will soon stop recognising green cards for Russian and Belarusian vehicles. A 12-month transitional period began in June of this year. From the 1st of June 2023, the MIBI and our EEA counterparts will no longer cooperate with Belarus and Russia. This means that green cards issued to vehicles registered in those two countries will no longer be accepted as proof of insurance in EEA member states, including Ireland. It also means that members of the MIBI or our counterparts in other EEA countries will no longer be able to issue green cards to vehicles that intend to travel to Russia or Belarus from that date onwards. So, for example, if any Irish vehicles that will be travelling to either of those territories on and after the 1st of June will require additional frontier insurance. The MIBI have issued an updated green card template to our members that was sent out in June of this year that takes into account these new changes. All members will be required to use this new template from the 1st of June. Before then, members should note that if they're using the previous version of the green card template and wish to continue to offer insurance in Russia or Belarus, the valid date cannot extend past the 31st of May 2023. It should also be noted that these measures only apply to Russian or Belarusian vehicles entering the European Economic Area and Irish or EEA registered vehicles entering Russia or Belarus. Happily, Irish registered vehicles entering other EEA countries or other green card countries are not impacted. Naturally, the implementation of the new 6th Motor Insurance Directive will have an impact on both domestic and cross-border insurance. This is a topic we're liaising closely with the Departments of Finance and Transport and the COB in Brussels. We're delighted to have Luke here from the COB, who will speak on this topic later, followed by my colleague Dennis, who will provide an MIBI perspective on the directive. Our annual conference is a great opportunity to share the team effort of the MIBI. our members and our stakeholders that goes into looking after the victims of uninsured and untraced drivers. Looking to the future, we will continue to engage with you, our stakeholders, via our MIBI strategy to innovate, realise our vision and achieve our strategic goals. This will include delivering on the various initiatives and IT projects I shared earlier, engaging with the government and the COB to support the implementation of the new Motor Insurance Directive, and when the directive has been successfully transposed, working with the Minister to finalise the long-awaited updates to the MIBI agreement. We're very proud of having been awarded the Investors in Diversity Silver Award, and I assure you today that we will continue to build on this achievement, further embedding D&I in all areas of our work and practices, and strive for continued improvements. Throughout the day, our speakers will get into some of the finer details as laid out in the agenda, but for now, thank you for your attention and enjoy the day.